Good morning. Happy Wednesday. This cold and wet Wednesday morning in Nairobi. Hope you're all good. I'm happy to be back here, sharing my heart, sharing what is in my heart this morning. So I just wanted to shed some light on my last Instagram post on rock bottom, on hitting rock bottom. I have shared this for a while, for more than a year, just different posts in different ways. And of course, those that are close to me know what I'm talking about, know exactly what I'm talking about. But I just wanted to shed some light into it because, I mean, I was going to do this at one point or another, but just having different people reach out and say, I'm going through the same thing right now. And, can we talk? Or someone just reaching out and saying, Lorraine, can you pray for me? Just a listening ear or a prayer that is needed, because people are going through this, through stuff. People are going through stuff, and it's being vulnerable, like I said in my last video, it doesn't come very easy for many people. So when you find someone talking about, the season that you're in, you kind of connect, you kind of want to connect with them and, just seek help. So rock bottom for me reached about a year plus ago, and details not needed, but I hit rock bottom. And I checked, we know what rock bottom is. It's like rock bottom. So anyway, I checked the meaning of rock bottom, and what Google dictionaries gives is rock bottom means the lowest possible level. So I did hit the lowest possible level in my life. And if it is the lowest possible level, what does that mean? You can't go lower than that. The only way is up. So it has been a very difficult, rock bottom for me was a very difficult place. And I think, was it in February, where in church, usually at my church, we do like a series for the month. So I think it was in February when our Bishop Oscar Moreo was doing a series. And in one of those sermons, he talked about the dark night of the soul. He was really open and honest and vulnerable with us. And he just told us how he went through the darkest time of his life a couple of years ago. If I'm not wrong, I can't remember when it was, but a couple of years ago. And I can say it because he said it, he brought it out in the open, like he contemplated suicide at some point, and, for you to hear your bishop, like the number, the bishop, the bishop of the church saying that, being vulnerable and saying that, like, it just touches your soul to some depths. And like, I'm even getting emotional right now because he really did touch my soul, and so many others as well, just by being vulnerable with us. And I also checked the meaning of what the meaning of the dark night of the soul is. It's a phrase that has been used from years back. It's used in psychiatry. It's used in, just general terms. It's used in spirituality. It's used in Christianity, like in just so many areas. But it just means this is a point in your life where you reach, and it's the most painful point. It's the most painful point of your life that you would ever reach. And in Christianity, at this point, and even in other spheres of life, when you talk about the dark night of the soul, it's a point of transition, because you've reached the most painful period of your life. Then at this point, then you would have to ask yourself so many questions, My last post that I did on Instagram, I said, not everyone gets out alive, not everybody gets out alive. If Bishop Moreo said he contemplated suicide, but he got out of it, I know people who have got to that dark point, the darkest point of their life, and they couldn't take it, and they, ended their lives, and that was that, But God is faithful. God is so faithful that for me, I did get to that point where I went through the dark night of the soul, and what do I say? It has been a transition point for me. I'm grateful that I am alive and kicking, that I have been able to maneuver and get through it and come out on the other side smiling. Like, you can see me smiling, guys. Smiling. And a few shades lighter, I was maybe 7 shades darker than I am right now during the dark night of the soul, of my soul. I was skinny and bony and just looking so drab, in that area, in that time. My face was had broken out completely. Like, I looked like a teenager going through puberty because of the way my face looked. And I'm just trying to say, just what how it manifested in the physical for me. Those that saw me, would ask me, "Hey, Lorraine, what's going on?" Because even in that period, I lost like 20 kilos. And everybody, like, people would pass me. And I wouldn't even blame them because they could not recognize me. So that's how it manifested for me in the physical. I looked like a totally different person. And my soul as well was just hurting and hurting and hurting and hurting. But I got through it, guys. Like, I look back and I'm just like, hey, how did I get through this? And imagine everybody that asks me, I have one answer. It was God. Because without him, I wouldn't have made it. He brought people around me that surrounded me with love, that held me down. He allowed me to be able to sit with myself, be honest with myself. Like, I don't know how many of us are honest with ourselves. Like, it's so important to just be honest. You can cover, some areas of your life with your friends, with your family, with whoever, even with your spouse. But with yourself, you need to be super duper honest. And that's what I did. I have had to be honest with myself, like super honest with myself, so that I can also remedy the things that need remedying in my life. Because my life wasn't all that. I wasn't living to the full, and I wasn't living right. I've said this so many times before. But in that dark night of the soul, the pit of the pit, rock bottom, the lowest level of life, I was able to transition. I was able to find myself again. I was able to find God, or let God find me. And just get out of that zone. And so many of us are going through that. When I started Sister Circle, I said the reason why I felt in my heart that I needed to start the Sister Circle is because the weird thing is that there was 1 or 2 or 3, okay, let me say 2, of my close friends who are going through the exact same thing that I was going through, exact same thing. And I wonder, I was just like, hey, Kwani, what's up? But because, or rather, one was going through it, and one had gone through it. And I was just like, can we hold each other's hands? Can we walk with each other in this journey? Because, guys, let me tell you, in that dark night, you need someone to hold your hand. Because if you don't have somebody genuine holding your hand and holding you down, then it can be a downward spiral, and it may not end very well for you. And that's why it was, for me, I just felt it was important that I give back to somebody that's going through the same thing. And it may not have been the exact same, it doesn't have to be the exact same thing that I have gone through. It can be anything that would lead to the dark night of the soul. It can be in any area of your life. It can be in your finances. You can hit rock bottom with your finances where you're below anything. Or it can be in your relationships, whatever kind of relationship, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a friendship, that breaks, and, you're left heartbroken to the core. It can be anything. It can be your career, and that's where also the book that I'm working on rejection came up. Because in this period, the amount of rejection I felt, I was just like, Yani, you're rejecting me like this, Yani. And then for me, other than the main thing that got me into this rock bottom space, there were so many other things that not just started happening. So many other things started happening. I'm just like, okay, God, Yani, when it rains, it pours, This has happened now. All these other things are happening. And it's just been an interesting space. But in this space, in that dark night, you are forced to just sit with yourself and just figure, do you want to get out of this? Do you want better for yourself? Do you want better for those that you love? Okay, if you want better for them, okay, then what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I've had to do that. I'm not where I want to be yet. I'm still working. I'm a work in progress. But for me, what I'm just saying is God brought me out. Psalm 23:4, like even in the deepest, darkest valley, he's there with me. His rod and his staff comforts me, and so many songs in this period I've held dear and have spoken to me, where and so many, and just so many scriptures, like what is this? The story of the three Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the furnace of fire, and God was with them. Like, I have honestly been in the fire, in the refiner's fire. People make fun of Chandler Moore's song, the refiner's fire, where he says, refine me. Like, do you really want to be refined? Because that refiner's fire is no joke. Let me tell you, it is no joke because, yeah, I have been through the fire. And I've been through the flood. I just remembered, is it Kirk Franklin songs? I've been broken into pieces, seen lightning flashing from above. But through it all, I remember that you love me and you care and you never will, and you'll never put more on me than I can bear. God will never give you more than you can bear. So even in that dark night when it feels like this burden is so hard to bear, imagine God will never give you more than you can bear. So for me, my heart is with everybody, but then so much so with the women. That's why I'm so into this sister circle thing and, just holding another woman's hand and praying with you and standing by you. I do not have all the answers. I may have an answer or two, especially if you're going through something that I have gone through personally. I'm not an expert in everything, but I can pray for you. I can hold your hand. I can give you a hug. Sometimes, like, all you want is a hug. All you want is a hug. And there's nobody around to give you a hug. So I'm just like, guys, we just come together and hug on each other and pray for each other and just laugh together, and scream if you need to scream, So, there's so much in my heart for you women who are going through it, who are at rock bottom, who feel like they cannot get out of it. Imagine you can. Like if Lorraine, who was 10 shades darker, had a fully broken out face. What else? Had all her bones just jutting out. These bones, my cheekbones are now nice and defined. But let me tell you, they were jutting out, and then my collarbones, they are jutting a little bit. They weren't like this a year ago, or let's say 2 years ago, but it was worse than this, and I just looked back, like all my clothes, all my clothes were not fitting, all of them. So, because part of what has been in that in rock bottom was my financial status was also down in the dumps. I couldn't buy clothes, so I was just there. Like I used to wear my gym clothes because at least my gym clothes could fit, So when I'm not working, I'm in my gym clothes. So I remember once one of my friends, a parent in school, asked me. I'd come for pickup, I think, and she asked me, "Kwani unaenda gym?" I'm like, "Chick," at least how she knew what was going on. I'm like, "Chick, this is the only thing that can fit me. So when I need to go out, I will wear my gym clothes. People will think I'm going to the gym, but it's because it's the only thing that could fit me. But, just slowly, I was able to, okay, fine, now I can get a few things that fit me well. And it does so much for your psyche. It does so much for your confidence. And that's another place that I am so passionate about, with women who've lost their confidence, because I'm regaining mine. My confidence was also down in everything, guys, about me. Everything positive about me was now negative. Like I'd lost my confidence because of, things that were said to me by just some random people who I should never have given audience. And even those that are close to me, just things that were said, and now just the way that I was looking, and then everything was just crumbling around me, I'd lost my confidence, guys. I'd lost all of my confidence. And then, just sitting down with myself and looking through the years, I was just like, I had to go back and look and say, okay, this is where it began, I've been able to just, when all this started, I did therapy for some time, stopped, then started again. But at the end of the day, sitting with yourself also helps. You may not at the outset have to go out and pay somebody, but if you sit with yourself and you're honest about yourself and just think through from as far as your memory would take you, whether it's 5 years of age or 3 years of age, begin to think through, okay, this happened, so now I see why it's affecting me right now. This happened, this didn't happen, and stuff like that. Like I had to remember class 5, my standard 5. This is one thing that I've always said. I'm just like, my standard 5 teacher hated me. And I was just like, I used to ask myself, why did she hate me? Like, what did I ever do to her? But in this period, I had to sit back and think. I was like, okay, yeah, this is why she didn't like me. I didn't do anything, but this is why she didn't like me. And it's part of what has had a big, what do I say? It's impacted me negatively in my life, and just thinking about that, I've been able to say, okay, this should not have defined me. It did define me at that point, but it should not have defined me. So now, girl, set it aside. This is not you. It does not define you. This is what God thinks about you, and this is what you should think about yourself. Yeah. So, what am I saying? Long story short. Okay, long story short for now, but the stories will continue. That if you're at that place where you are at the lowest level of life, where you are experiencing the worst pain like I have, I keep telling people that I lost my mom in 2007, but this dark night has been more painful than the loss of my mom. Like, yeah, it's been more painful than the loss of my mom. It's something when your hopes and dreams are shattered, when what you thought your future would be just comes crumbling down, and it catches you unawares, and you're like, hey, okay. So how do we even move from here? I have stayed in rock bottom for a long time, longer than I should have, longer than I would have wanted to, but I am so grateful that I'm out. Guys, let me just tell you that some people don't get out of it. Some people don't get out of it. And for me to keep saying I'm so grateful that I've come out of it alive and kicking and smiling and a few shades lighter, guys. I've regained my complexion. I'll keep saying that because guys, I was dark. I look for those pictures. I don't have so many of them. I remember my cousin saying, take pictures of the way you look now. So when you get back to yourself, you can have a before and after. Okay, I didn't take pictures because I was so down. It's like now this taking pictures, but I may have 1 or 2 or 3. Because another thing, I used to hate I could not look at myself in the mirror. I could not bring myself to look at myself in the mirror. I was just like, who is this? Like, I hate the way I look, And then now added on to the voices, you're just like, Lord, I can't. But slowly, I was like, but this is me. This is my body. It is what it is. So look at yourself in the mirror, girl. And, with time, I could keep looking at myself in the mirror and, just loving on myself. I've come a long way. I've come a really long way. And I'm so grateful that I found myself. I found my voice. I love to talk. And this is one of the things that I had to discover in this dark night, that my voice I was silenced, unknowingly. But I'm just like, I love to talk. In December last year, I was giving a testimony in church. Like the pastor had to stop me, because me, I just love to talk. I love to talk. But it's something that I just had unknowingly. I didn't know. I was silenced. Like life happened, people happened, and I just stopped talking. But I love it, I love to tell stories. I love to speak to those that I love. I love to speak to my friends. I love to just, I just love it. So, There's lots coming. I am just putting a couple of things in place for my dear sisters, women, just for us to come together, to pray with each other, to hug on each other, to love on each other. And that's why, I know the one that's coming next week. Slots are still there, guys. Sister Circle, Out of Town, Tea Plantation, Nature. It's still on. Slots are still available. Please check my Instagram for that. For details. I can't wait. I'm so excited about it. Come join me. Like what I keep saying is I'm taking you guys on a journey. I've not reached there yet, but I'm taking you guys on a journey. In my last video, I said that all the videos that I've posted, 90, if not 100%, have spoken to me after I have posted them, because I have encouraged and it has encouraged me as well, So life is a journey, and if you find the right people to journey with you, it makes it all the more beautiful. So we will come together, guys, just to pray on each other and love on each other. I've said that like 5 times in this video, but I can't wait to just share my heart with women. If you identify as a woman, no. These days, if you identify as a woman, you get men who identify as women. If you're a woman, guys, if you've been through it, if you've got to rock bottom, if you don't know how to get up from wherever you are, if you've lost your confidence, if you want to just come back stronger, softer but stronger, guys, this is just keep it here. I'm going to say this one is for you, but I'm not even told you what it is. Keep it here. Very soon, I'll share, what is in my heart and what I'm hoping for, that we can, just start this thing, to be there for each other, because, man, we need to walk this. The Bible says, bear one another's burdens, So yeah, that's what this is about. We're just bearing one another's burdens and making this journey light. You don't need to walk alone. So keep it here. I'll reveal soon. But in the meantime, sign up for Sister Circle. Let's go out in nature. Even if it's raining, we'll go, And I love the rain. When people are running through rain, I'm usually just walking. I'm just like, guys, I love the rain. It's nice to be rained on, We used to be told, utapata limonia. There's a nurse that we work with who, the first time I heard her saying, ati, mtoto ako na limonia. I'm like, gosh. But she kept saying limonia, and when I realized she was just joking around. Yeah. So I used to be told that if you walk around in the rain, you'll get limonia. But, we will have a change of clothes. If it rains, we'll have a change of clothes. And guys, I can't wait. I can't wait for next week, God willing. So yeah, we'll talk soon. Have a good day. And yeah, take care. Keep it here. Love you. Bye.